What's up, everyone? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I had to reconnect my Facebook account just now, which means it takes 10 minutes to log into Facebook. But glad you're here. Starting a few minutes late because of that. If you could see the title of the stream, it is Mapo Tofu Burritos. I'm super excited for this recipe, as I am for every recipe. I say that at the beginning of every stream. Mapo tofu is actually one of my favorite dishes of all time. I eat it not enough, criminally not enough, honestly. And burritos are also one of my favorite dishes of all time. And I eat those way too much, honestly. So we're hitting a nice balance here with this recipe. I'm going to start by making the Mapo tofu itself, and I'm going to just add some ground pork to this pan. So when I'm thinking about how to convert a recipe into a burrito, I usually... You sat in the lobby for 10 minutes. Wow. I didn't know there was a lobby. Did you meet anyone there? When I think about turning a recipe into a burrito, I try to think about what I like in a burrito. So my burrito order, I guess, would be rice, beans, meat, or meat, some sort of main ingredient, salsa, sour cream, and cheese. So for the Mapo tofu version, the rice is going to be the same. There's still going to be cheese. I debated whether I would add cheese to this or not, but I decided to add cheese. The sour cream is going to be the same. And then for the meat and the beans, the Mapo tofu mixture will basically combine both those things. So like the tofu is replacing the beans, the pork in here is replacing the meat. And for the salsa, I decided to do a cucumber salsa because this dish is spicy. Mapo tofu is very spicy. And cucumber is a great ingredient to sort of calm the heat down a little bit. So we're making the Mapo tofu first. Then we're going to make the salsa. I already cooked the rice, and then we're going to put it all together. And hi, everyone. Rich was in the lobby with you. We might have had to wait in the lobby because I was trying to log into Facebook for 10 minutes. It was like two-factor, get on your code generator. Typed in the code, it was wrong. Rich, that's great. Following me all over the internets. So, the main ingredient of any... Let me move this over a little. Of any Mapo tofu is the Szechuan peppercorns. And these are like more like black pepper than a chili, but they leave kind of like a numbing taste in your mouth. I don't know if you've had certain Szechuan food and afterwards you're like, why does my mouth feel weird? And that's what the Szechuan peppercorns are. A lot of recipes will leave this whole. I personally don't like whole spices in my food, so I'm going to just grind them up lightly. And I'm going to pop them right in here with the pork. Yes, Rich, the first ever. Just smashing your food. Primal. So those peppercorns are already like opening up and flavoring the whole kitchen. Flavoring the whole kitchen. Mafia. What have you been saying wrong, John? mortar and pestle, Szechuan. The next thing I'm going to add to this, John says a lot of things there, is this. It's a Szechuan bean paste, and this came in the mail about 5 minutes before the stream. I was very worried if we were going to be able to make this dish today or not. You know, I like to not be too planned. Like, I like to think of recipes a little bit ahead of time. By a little bit, I mean a very little bit. Because to me, it keeps it interesting. I get to test it out with you guys for the first time. But sometimes that will hurt me when I'm trying to get all the ingredients for said recipe. Wow, everyone's clowning on John. Andrea, this is it's a red bean and chili. Actually, broad bean paste with chili oil. And if you want to look more into this recipe, you can. My favorite place to find it is I Am a Food Blog. They have a great recipe on their website for Mapo Tofu, and they really lay out it very well. So that's my favorite place to find it. There's also a pretty good one on Serious Eats, as usual. Alright, a lot of flavor going on already. Next thing I'm going to add is garlic and ginger. The crackling is, the sounds are coming in hot already. Right next to the microphone too. Oh, that's nice, Rich. You don't see people coming together on the internet very often. Unity. Fear of trying tofu. Tofu is delicious. It doesn't taste like much on its own. It soaks up a lot of really good flavor from other things. If you're not sure how to try it first, I would get it as like a fried tofu appetizer. Crispy on the outside and nice and soft in the middle. And then start branching out from there. But that's the most like easy sort of American way to try it, in my opinion. A good like training wheels of tofu. Yeah, I read things as frying. One track mind. So I have my ginger paste here, which I feel like I use on half of the streams at least. And the garlic as well. Hey, Kristen. Yeah, thanks for saying that. What did you mean when he said we should be politicians, by the way? I was wondering. What did I lose? This looks like cream cheese. I mean, I would be the person to put a large block of cream cheese in a recipe for sure. Jason, but what about all the pork that's in here? Nothing goes better with tofu than meat. Great, so that garlic had a minute to kind of get some flavor. And I have chicken stock here. Actually, that's not chicken stock, sorry, it's garlic stock. Garlic broth. A little bit of soy sauce. Coordination is on point today. Oh wow, Rich, that's a great compliment. I'm sure she'll be very happy to hear that, because she's been really trying to get on camera more. So I just have some water and cornstarch here. And I'm gonna whisk that together. And this is gonna thicken up the mixture here. Before I add this though, I'm gonna cut up the tofu and put it in first. Guys, stop complimenting Gina. This is about me today. I need to be the center of attention. Me. Adding in the tofu now. And this is firm tofu. You're really supposed to use a more soft tofu. You could do medium or soft for this, but I am a big proponent of using what you have. And also the firmer tofu for the burritos, it kind of will hold together slightly better as a burrito filling. John, she's on a different channel than you. She's on Twitch. So you can only see her comments by looking at the video itself. Oh, you mean you were hoping to see her face on the stream? You mean in person, not in comment form. Got it. Well, just setting me off to the side again. Well, this is going to be the last stream, guys. Just kidding. Speaking of the stream, though, I am going to switch to later in the day once daylight savings time hits. So I'll probably try to do 4 o'clock because the lighting will still be good at that time. And hopefully more people can make it. And it'll be like the tail end of the workday. So you can blow off the rest of the day and watch. The riches. Alright, this looks great. Actually, I should move it over so everyone can see. And in a minute or two, I'm going to add that cornstarch slurry, is what it's technically called. I thought I was more set up and ready for this stream than ever, but that Facebook login situation really threw me off. You know, it's always when you think you're doing well is when the worst mess ups happen. You have to maintain a little bit of humility. Too much confidence. So that's gonna come to a boil and just thicken up a little bit. And it smells so good. A little more soy sauce. So this is forming almost like a sheen. Does that make sense? A sheen. Which is good. It should look like slightly slimy almost. And then we have all that delicious tofu and the delicious pork, and it's super spicy. I'm gonna taste some. And then I'm gonna set it aside while we make some of the other stuff. It won't be as loud on the microphone for you guys. Rich, that's kind of like an American thing though. Slimy is a great texture in food in a lot of other cultures. It's good. Just enough heat. Really good. Alright, I just have it on low back there. And I'm gonna get rid of my burner so I don't burn myself. Oh, and I meant to also say, because Alex is here too, is that Mapo tofu can be vegetarian and really good. I usually use mushrooms instead of pork when I make it that way. And in my next cookbook, there is a recipe that uses a mushroom Mapo tofu on some nachos. And it's probably my favorite recipe in the book. I can't wait for that to be shared with the world. So we're gonna do the salsa now. Thank you, Rich, for that compliment. So as I was saying, I'm gonna do a cucumber salsa because I want this to be the cooling element compared to the super hot tofu mixture. And I usually buy these English cucumbers because I like the way it looks with the skin on. I know they're more expensive, but by the time you take the seeds out and the skin off of the regular cucumbers, in my opinion, you're left with like almost the same amount of actual cucumber. Making salsas is actually one of my favorite things to do. I used to work at a burrito shop, and I would come up with all different salsa flavors. And I really just love thinking of like the color mixture and the sizes and shapes that are going to be in the salsa. I would not say rest in peace to Cafe Burrito. I would say rot. Rot is a better word than rest. Thanks, John, for hyping me up. My hype man. I've made a lot of different burritos from different cuisines in the past. One of my favorites is a Vietnamese burrito that uses rice noodles instead of rice. Any decent burrito should have garlic in it. I mean, any decent salsa should have garlic in it. And I personally like to grate garlic in because I don't like pieces of garlic just being in there. What do you think makes a wrap versus a burrito, Alex? Because rice noodles are rice, and I used edamame beans instead of beans, so I think it was a burrito still, in my opinion. A bigger question would be, is a burrito a sandwich? And the answer to that is yes. Absolute 100% yes. I just put some soy sauce and I'm putting lime in here too. And then I'm going to add a scallion to it. Yes, the Vietnamese burrito is the best thing in stuffed. The stuffed ranking. Stream dead? Are you still here? Anyone? It says I still have 18 people. Lagging. Someone today told me I should get an Ethernet cord to help with that. The center of attention of this stream told me that. Cilantro was the last item. And I'm going to just chop some extra cilantro to put into the rice. I'm just going to get rid of some of the bigger stems, but I usually tend to leave a lot of the cilantro stems in. Just cut them up small, and they add flavor. Lags better? No. Why do you hate cilantro stems, Rich? Have you tasted them? Do you know what the flavor is? A lot of Thai cooking uses the stems and even the actual roots of the cilantro. I just don't like them. I know what I like. You don't like celery then, Rich? What's your stance on cinnamon? Or are those good sticks or annoying sticks? All right, this is great. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna add honey to this. Last minute decision. Cinnamon is grated, but I chopped up the cilantro, so it's basically grated. You ever put a cinnamon stick in your hot chocolate to stir it? Some mulled wine. Rich, I did want to put a red, like chili flakes in here, but the whole premise of this salsa is that it's the cooling balance to the super spicy tofu. So I really had to hold myself back from putting something red in there. And I just didn't think tomato would make sense or anything like that. So this is the same thing we would do with our rice at the burrito shop, is just add some lime juice and cilantro to it. And I used basmati rice for this. Yeah, I guess you could use a bell pepper, it wouldn't be spicy. Could have thought of that the other day when I got my groceries. Only red things are only spicy. Said my brain at the time. All right. So I think we're ready to make our burrito. I'm just gonna wipe this area down real quick. Thank you about the rice, because I'm actually have been very bad at cooking rice for most of my life. I only recently learned what I'm doing. I used to just always boil rice as if it was pasta and then strain it. Which would definitely deserve one of those like YouTube reaction videos of someone crying watching me do it. See you, Rich. Thanks for coming. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but you may not have been here yet, is that I decided to use provolone on this. Not sure why, but it popped into my head that it would be a good flavor combo for this, so I decided to stick with it. I think the subtle smokiness is going to go well with the Mapo tofu mixture. That being said, I guess at the burrito shop, I normally would have steamed the burrito. And at home, what I'll sometimes do is just like put it flat in a pan for a little bit. Or one thing you can do to steam it is like put it in a Ziploc bag with a few paper towels. Or if you want to just like be kind of lazy about it like I'm doing right now, I'm just going to microwave it for 12 seconds. I have sour cream here. This is another thing that I took from the burrito shop, is I almost always mix sour cream with lime and a little salt, and I usually put it in a thing like this to make it easier. Yeah, that's what I do, Amy, when I'm making fried rice and I didn't make it ahead of time. I'll cool it on a sheet tray. Because with fried rice, you want to use day-old rice. A sheet tray is a great way to cool it fast. Rice down first. Tofu and pork mixture next. than the salsa. Been out of the burrito rolling game for too long. This is very good. Just having my minute of burrito bliss. Rich didn't really miss it by that long, did he? But yeah, this is really flavorful. The rice obviously goes so well with Mapo tofu anyways. The little bit of salsa is a perfect balance. Bright freshness mixed with that like heavy, deep Mapo tofu flavor. All works really perfectly together. Like any burrito, you're not like, wow, cheese, but the cheese is just there in the background as like one of the many elements that's making the burrito awesome. So we'll put up a recipe for this next week. I'm gonna probably photograph it right now, a better version of it. And post it next week. And the recipe, if you want to make it in the meantime, basically use the I Am a Food blog Mapo Tofu recipe. And the other stuff's pretty straightforward, right? But otherwise, I will see you all next week. Thanks for watching. One of my highlights of the week, as always. And thanks for giving Georgina all the credit that was due to her today. So